So, the way guitar players have evolved over time surely has changed. The access to information, technology, and other factors have made us better faster compared to any other era, although sometimes too much information can hold us back, but that's a topic for another time. I remember hearing stories of guitarists, let's say like Jeff Beck, who were literally moving the needle of a record player, listening to that one part over and over again to just learn a part of a song. If that's what I had to do to learn songs for shows I play here in LA, I would be exhausted. Our ears are our biggest allies when it comes to learning guitar, yet most of us, especially when first starting out, don't really train or utilize that music muscle. This is where AI can actually be more helpful than harmful in the music world, giving us more of a push to use our ears when it comes to learning guitar parts. And that's exactly what I'll be talking about in this video. So if you want to be a more proficient musician with well-trained ears and really learn where to start on the guitar when it comes to playing something you hear, then look no further, because that's exactly what we're going to be going over in this video. My name is Matt Kelly. If you enjoyed this video at any point, consider subscribing. Let's now move on to the video. First things first, and let me just say this, I'm very strongly against AI in music. More so creating music and doing the super creative side, because that's what we should be doing. I like AI taking care of the busy work and the mundane work that we humans have to do. But when it comes to creating things for us musically, I don't really like it. So that's not what I'm going to be talking about in this video. Instead, I'll be getting into how AI can help us break down a guitar part or a piece of music to help us play something by ear, and also other uses it can provide us. Let's check out what I'm talking about. So this is LALAL.AI. What you can do with their technology is pretty insane. You can upload any track, any song, any MP3, whatever music file, and you can separate any of these instruments. Now this is a pretty wide range of instruments. A lot of these AI extractors, they don't have all of these. They do have some. So I'm gonna show you an example of how this works, and then I'm going to try and play a certain part of the song I'm about to show you by ear. I'm gonna do a tune from my really good friend, Sierra Drummond. She's a super talented songwriter, vocalist. She's just a great person. I'm gonna do one of her tunes, and I'm going to extract, and as you can see, it's uploading right now. All right, so let's take a look at extracted the vocal. Let's give it a listen. Now you can hear that delay sort of and slight reverb. We can actually even get rid of that altogether as well. Turn off the whole track and you can hear just the isolated vocals. Super cool stuff. It's really cool. So now I'm going to do electric guitar. So let's take a listen to what we got here. So this is going to be without the electric guitar, if I mute this all the way down. So nothing. This electric guitar is pretty light in the mix. It's pretty insane that LALAL can just take this out pretty clearly. Now there is a horn part in this, and I'm gonna see which option might pick that up. Let's try that. That will probably separate the horn sounds for us. Also, please check out more of Sierra's music. She's super talented. I'll link her Spotify or whatever YouTube down in the description. So let's see wind. I think this is what it's gonna be. Yep. So we're gonna run with this and take out the wind section. We're gonna download it, listen to it, and then we're gonna try and learn it by ear. So quickly going over what they give us, we have vocal and instrumental, drums, bass, voice and noise, electric guitar, acoustic guitar, piano, synthesizer, strings, and wind. Now an insane feature that I just have to go over that I've sort of found is the echo and reverb remover. All right, so now you can see that we have the D echo on. Let's take a listen. You can still sort of hear it as she's singing, but you don't get those echo trails when she's not, which is awesome. Now you can also do that with reverb. If there's too much reverb on a vocal take, you can also get rid of that as well. And here are some other options LALAL gives you. You have the stem splitter, which is what I showed you first. Then we have voice cleaner. This removes the background music, plosives. Now we have a voice changer. We have the lead back splitter, and then voice cloner, which says you can create custom voices from your recordings. It's really insane what AI can do now. All right, so now what I'm gonna do is split that horn take in full, go over it and try and learn it by ear and teach you how you can start doing this with any song as well. So first things first, you need to figure out what key it's in. Now there's a lot of different ways you can really start with this. What I like to do when I was first getting into this ear training thing, I would first listen to the progression and make sure it's like a normal sounding progression that starts on the root. But sort of after I sort of get the vibe of the chord progression and how many chords are within the song, this can sort of help me determine what key it's in. Now how you can also go about this is simply just play the song. So let's put it on real quick. You can do this. You can just move around the low E string until you find the low note that sounds like it's going with the chord. It's just something you can try. So for example, I know that this is just, you can hear that. You can move around and find what that root note of the chord is. So after listening, we have B flat major and C minor. So once we sort of moved around the low E string, found that bass note over the corresponding chords that were being played over the track, and you necessarily don't need to do it on the low E string, you can do it on any of the strings that you feel the most comfortable. So now that I know that this is in B flat major, the horn, let's just say style licks, I know that they're gonna be soloing in the B flat major scale. Now this helps me because I can think of all of the scale shapes that I know in B flat major. Now the next thing you want to do is listen to the frequency of the instrument that's being played. Do the notes sound really high? Do they sound really low? Somewhere in the middle? Really sort of assess that to begin with. So let's now listen to those isolated horn parts. Now something you can never truly go wrong with is by just starting the lick and finding the root note in different octaves, because it sounds like it's playing with the chords that are being changed. It's like da-da-da-da-da. So it sounds like it's playing on that chord it switches to, and then when it switches to the C minor, it goes up a little bit, you can hear it. It goes up a little bit as the chord changes. So those are the things that you can really pay attention to. So it sounds like it's doing, and then there's a little lick in between that, and it's probably doing something as simple as this, something in the major pentatonic, yeah. And then it goes up to that C note when it switches to the C minor chord. Let's listen. Yep. He's going a little higher. I just found it. And the reason I'm finding this so quickly is because I'm just more familiar with that major pentatonic scale. Now, since this is a different instrument other than guitar, how I have to approach how they play it with that horn is going to be a little differently. So I might do a little like slide in, back, something like that. I could do a hammer on. I kind of like the, right? And like I said, I am doing all of this based on the key that I know that this song is in, really listening to whether those notes are lower or higher and where to start. Also focusing if they're playing the root note over each of those chords, which in this case they were. And then with all the scales that you do know, you sort of just play around that scale until you can hear some familiar notes. Now at first when you do this, it might not happen super quickly, which is why it's also great to start with a relatively easy song. Now another tip in finding which chords a song is playing, it's a little easier to hear open strings ring out than if you were just to pluck a string. Like this sounds a hell of a lot more different than this. You can really hear the difference, right? So really focus and listen to if you hear any open strings ringing out, and that can sort of help you decide where on the fretboard that they are playing these chords. For example, let's say a song is starting with an A minor bar chord, right? This sounds a lot more different than this. You can hear the strings ringing out a lot more. So that's another thing you can really pay attention to figure out where on the neck they're going to be playing. Just another thing to consider, there's a million ways to play the same thing on the guitar fretboard, as I'm sure you know. So really think about open strings and everything else I talked about. So for my final thoughts, I'm really impressed. I cannot believe they give you as many options for splitting stems, but the fact that you can like change your voice, you can clean up that extra unwanted noise in vocal takes, you can remove echo and reverb from those takes as well. It's very, very helpful. It's really, really cool. A lot of people can use these in a lot of different situations, and it's something that I'm definitely going to be taking advantage of when I'm learning songs for gigs, and also to help train my ear so I don't sort of just go back to what I used to be doing by just looking up tabs. Like I said, that's fine and all, but if I want to improve myself as a musician, it's definitely great to work on your ear training. So with that being said, let me know what you think about this AI splitter. Let me know what you use it for down in the comments. Also, please share with everyone else of how you really like to practice your ear training, because everybody does it differently, and maybe you could help someone else out, so let us know. Thanks as always for watching. If you want to check out more videos I've done, you can check them out right over here. I hope you got a lot out of this video. Like I said, please check out my friend Sierra's music down in the description. Also, if you're in the LA, Malibu area, she plays all over the place, so follow her on Instagram too. I'll just link that as well in the description. And if you want to learn more about LALAL.AI, I will also link that there as well. Thanks again for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.